Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here for today's Show Me Connection webinar. These sessions are a great way for us to share ideas and highlight resources and, of course, learn about the work happening across our network. So before we get started, and as people continue to kind of come into the meeting here, take a moment to say hello in the chat. Please share your name, organization, and contact information, and a quick note about what resource you offer or other ways that you are involved in the Show Me Network. And we're really excited to have you all here with us today. So our first speaker today is Chris Hunter. Chris is the Director of Elevate Entrepreneurs at Elevate Branson. Over the past several years, we've had the opportunity to collaborate with Chris and the Elevate Branson team through efforts like our early stage business boot camp and their Elevate Entrepreneurs program. Together, we've been able to connect resources and programming in ways that better serve business owners in Taney County and the surrounding area. Elevate Branson is doing some really great work locally, and Chris has played an important role in shaping programming that reflects the needs of his community. And today I'm excited for him to share how they've approached localizing programming and how partnerships like this can expand impact and reach more businesses. So Chris, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, great. Hi, everybody. I'm Director of Elevate Entrepreneurs at Elevate Branson, as Crystal said. Thanks so much for this opportunity. So those who are not aware, Elevate Branson is a nonprofit. Our goal is to help transition people out of poverty. We've got about 10 different programs that we'll use to do that, and one of the programs is Elevate Entrepreneurs. So after someone gets affordable housing, gets a job, gets affordable transportation to get to that job, what might be a good next step for them? So for a lot of people, starting a side hustle or side business to help supplement their income might be a benefit. So the example I like to use is if somebody knows how to make candles, and we can show them how to turn that into a business, and they can sell those at the farmer's market on the weekend, make an extra 100 or 200 bucks. That makes a big difference. So when we first met with the SBDC, they said that your pitch of the business boot camp is a little bit unique as you're focusing on side hustles. And so I won't get into the specifics here unless somebody wants to ask about it afterwards. But Branson is very unique. And so because of the business environment in Branson, we learned that we had to pivot and pitch it that way. But we help people start businesses and grow businesses, much like the SBDC. Quick side note. A week from tomorrow, on Wednesday and Thursday, we will be setting 8 tiny houses using a crane, and we're going to go Facebook Live so that people can check our progress. So that's one of the other programs that we have, affordable housing. In the tourist town, I've learned that there is more poverty because there are a lot of low-paying jobs. So we're trying to get some people housed. My program is the one program that we don't offer transportation for. The reason is we say if you're not able to get here, starting a business is probably not your next step. It's probably transportation, and we have a program to help with that. So Dr. Ruby K. Payne tells us that there are those in poverty, middle class, and wealth. Each of those has its own unspoken rules, and someone has to teach you the rules to the next one so that you can transition. So that's one of the things that we do. They said that when I took over, that my program will probably have a different clientele. Typically, Elevate Branson is going to serve those in poverty and also like the working poor or the homeless. And so my programs tends to skew a little more middle class, but we of course are happy to serve anyone. Next slide, please. Thanks so much. Okay. So this is what I've learned in presentation. So I can just read the slides and I can deliver information, which is fairly boring, or I can tell some stories. So I'm going to go ahead and tell some stories along the way, but it's for a purpose and I'll tie it back in for you. So 3 years ago, I was working for 1,000 Hills Vacations. And so they managed 500 vacation rentals in the area. So they hired me as a data analyst and revenue manager. So that means from their 1-bedroom cabins and condos all the way up to 10-bedroom mansions, I analyzed the data and figured out how to price those, and it changed every day. So I would leave, it's about 2 blocks from where Elevate Branson is. So I'd leave every day. I had a great job, great hours. Banker's hours in a tourist town is very rare because we usually work when other people don't, nights, weekends, holidays. So I had banker's hours. I was paid well. It's very, very rare in Branson. And so I would just drive home every day after work. And I was just so thankful for all in my life. And I had this overwhelming feeling and thought that maybe I should be giving back. And that was pretty annoying, so I pushed that to the side. But then each day as I was driving home, thankful for all that I had, um, I thought I probably should give back. So I'll spare you the story, but I used to work with one of the co-founders. So I reached out to Elevate Branson info at. I said, this is who I am. This is what my strengths are. This is what I enjoy doing. How can I be a help to you? And they said, we're just starting this entrepreneur program and you're going to be the marketing coach. So you're going to help us with our budding entrepreneurs figure out who their key demographic is, the person most likely to purchase their good or service, and then figure out how to reach them. And you'll probably have to be real creative, like guerrilla marketing, because we're usually short on resources. And I said that might be my favorite thing. So I started volunteering there. So I was here from the very beginning. And so I um I was here from the beginning, and so for the first two cohorts. So the second end of the second cohort, I came up to the director and I said, "I've got bad news. I lost my job." And she said, "I just put in my 2 weeks notice, so I'm going to go ahead and have the CEO contact you within 24 hours." And there I was. Next slide, please. I'm going to give you this information, and then in comedy, they call it the callback, where I bring it back at the end. So if it seems out of place, it is for a purpose. So I learned for ESOs, they have two main challenges. I network with 19 other ESOs across the United States regularly. We usually have a monthly meeting, all the way from LA, Los Angeles to New Jersey. Um, and we have the same comments all the time. So the number one challenge that we have is, and I have a shared office, so if you hear background music noise, that's what's going on. Um, Number one challenge is finding participants. So others in this space and on this call will probably that will feel familiar. And the second challenge is keeping entrepreneurs engaged with us afterwards because we can continue to help them. And so I'll tell you why this matters towards the end, but I just wanted to bring that to light. Next slide, please. Um, SBDC was bringing their business boot camp to Branson to serve our citizens. This is 2 years ago. So the Taney County Partnership, TCP, is economic development here in our area. They encouraged the SBDC to reach out to us because it sounded like we were doing similar things. So my first honest reaction was this town ain't big enough for the both of us. Maybe we should go have a duel or something, because we have the same demographic of our customers that we're trying to reach, or really it's people that we're trying to serve. But Crystal was kind enough to schedule a meeting and say, "Hey, look, this is what we're doing. Do you want to partner? Do you want to help?" I talked with our CEO and I told him one of my philosophies is to live life open-handed. And so this is trying to be the best benefit in this instant to our entrepreneurs, whether we're the hero or not. So I was happy to do it, and he said he would follow my lead. And so they even had me lead a class, which I thought was very gracious of them. Next slide, please. We realized that instead of competing, we should partner. So I even reached out to past graduates of my program and even presented it to current attendees that this was happening and going on. And we had multiple of our students go and participate in the class. And it was great because they could see the differences and they could give us feedback. Here's what we brought. I've been actively building my network in the Branson area, Southwest Missouri, for 17 years. So I'm a student of networking. There was a book written at the turn of the century. It sounds like a long time ago. 6 Degrees, The Science of a Connected Age, Duncan Watts. And it's a among the first books recognized where science is being recognized or networking is being recognized as a science. And so I have connections to local bankers, attorneys, insurance, entrepreneurs, general managers of attractions and hotels and owners and people I've gone to church with. I just had these great networks in town. So I told SBDC, if you're needing people to help facilitate or you're needing to make connections, then I might be able to do that. And they already have a really strong network. So they were able to fill a lot of those gaps themselves. So what they brought was experience, resources, big resources that we do not have, and connection to business professionals in the expanded Southwest Missouri region. So when we put our two networks together, it was a big benefit to our entrepreneurs. Next slide, please. At the end of the business boot camp, SBDC reached out to us and they said, we're very clearly duplicating efforts here. So why don't we take our resources and take our people and go to another community that doesn't have somebody who's helping them? And they said, but what if we still continued to connect with you as we get additional resources, share those with you, continue to serve your entrepreneurs, and you continue to connect your entrepreneurs to us. We can serve them. We can offer them our resources. And of course, that was the obvious choice. I added a note here yesterday at the bottom of this slide. I had learned as we began to learn of each other's programs, I had learned that they had actually started the grant process to fund this program before we even started ours. So um, there's a local family that had learned about an entrepreneurs program. It's actually the Hershin family who owns Silver Dollar City. They came to us. They go, "Hey, we think this would be good for our community. Does it make sense with your mission and vision and what you're trying to accomplish?" And we said, "Yeah, we could use this as a tool to help transition people out of poverty." So that fits great. So they're probably our biggest supporters. And so we had started that not knowing that they're already in the process of getting a grant so the SBDC could help our community do the same thing. So we realized that we were trying to accomplish the same thing, although we have different strengths, and working together is going to be the best opportunity here. Next slide, please. And just so everyone knows, we have 9 slides, so we're moving along well here. Here's what our partnership looks like today. We collaborate rather than compete. Big is resource sharing, so we get access to the efactory, Missouri State University, local professionals, things that we would not have access to or would not have known that we have access to if we had not begun working together. I love being able to go to my entrepreneurs and say, I can get you a meeting with a business consultant at no cost. I've been trained well, not free, no cost. And that's a little flex that I have. I've got those connections, which are available to everyone, but everybody doesn't know that. And then community network, speakers, mentors, SBDs can offer mentors, and we have local mentors that volunteer at Elevate Branson for Elevate Entrepreneurs that are business professionals that are a big help as well. Next slide, please. So how does this collaboration benefit our participants? Again, you're going to hear me say it again, it's more resources. So with expert advisors, business tools, and networks, we get to offer that to our entrepreneurs. So I give people the example of if somebody wanted to open a coffee shop, Amy Jackson might jump in and say, oh, well, we've got some analysis tools that we can use. And we might have a grad student working on a project at MSU that we could pull in. And they could make a report and say that there are 300 coffee shops within 30 minutes of here. And with that information, you can decide if you want to take the next step or maybe pivot and try something adjacent or different. This is where I imagine a relay race. So you got the different stages, you got the baton, and it's being handed from one to the other. So we can find the entrepreneurs who have an idea there and then help them get it on paper and get organized and get started. Probably looks like a side hustle or a side business. One of the strengths for the SBDC, they are also able to do those things, is growing it, putting gasoline on the fire to help take it to the next level and connect them to those resources mentioned in number one. And again, there's something magical that happens when you get people in the same building and they just start talking, trying to accomplish the same thing, and are willing to be generous and share resources and connections. And that's what we've seen with this partnership. Next slide, please. The biggest lesson we've learned is we're strongest when we collaborate. So, moment of honesty, when I first took over, the attitude here was what I call closed hand. So, are you familiar with the Malaysian monkey trap? Works like this. Imagine a birdhouse, a hole just big enough for a monkey's hand to slip in. So you put an apple in there and it discovers there's an apple in there and it reaches in and it grabs the apple and it can't get out. It's stuck. And the person who's hunting goes over and picks up the monkey, and that's it. And the reason he wasn't able to get away is because he was holding on to that one thing that he wanted. What we were holding on to were our entrepreneurs. So what we said is these are our entrepreneurs, and we're going to hold on to them. And we're not going to share them with anyone, and we're not going to let them know about other resources because some of them are going to make it out. And when they get rich and famous, we want them to remember us and they'll share all their wealth with us and support what we're doing. It's reasonable. It's a reasonable philosophy. With the blessing of our CEO, I told him that I wanted to have an open hand policy, which is whatever it takes to best benefit our entrepreneurs is what we want to do. So if we take and connect them or hand them off to an SBDC or someone else score, someone else that might be able to help them, and we might not necessarily look like the hero, if it's what's best for them, then I think that's what we should do. And he said whatever I thought was best, that's great. And being willing to do that has actually turned us better results and also has been a big benefit to our entrepreneurs. Next slide, please. Thanks for listening.
All right. Thank you, Chris. You all have been an amazing partner. So we appreciate you sharing kind of how the evolution of how that started and really the true impact that we've been able to partner together to have in the Taney County and surrounding area. Next, I'd like to introduce you to Adrian Haynes with Seed Law. Adrian is partnering with the Show Me Network to provide legal technical assistance, which I know many of you heard last month. But we have our first webinar coming up with Adrian, and so she wanted to just take a minute and talk about that and how to access those technical assistance legal services. So Adrian, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Crystal, and good afternoon, all. I'm glad to be here again this month. And I just wanted to take a moment to just send a gentle reminder or to share a gentle reminder about the first business law workshop that we'll be hosting tomorrow. It's called Startup Law, Preparing to Open Your Business. And it's really for people who are thinking about starting a business or even those who are thinking about starting their seventh business. I'm sure it's going to be a great conversation just about making sure that the legal ramifications of our entrepreneurs' business decisions are considered in advance. And so the workshop will be on Zoom tomorrow on Wednesday from 12 to 1. And all of the workshops are accessible on the Show Me Network calendar. And they should be up. We're scheduled through the end of the year. And of course, on the screen, you can also see that technical assistance is available to your entrepreneurs as well. You're welcome to have your business owners look at that link there, or there's actually, I'll send a follow-up because I'm sorry, Crystal, that's the paid consult link. And so the one for the Show Me Network includes Show Me Network in the URL. And actually, I'll just drop it in the chat now. But I'm looking forward to meeting with your entrepreneurs, and thanks to those who have sent people already. Appreciate it.
All right, great. Thank you, Adrian.
Absolutely.
So yeah, as she said, as a reminder, you can always visit showmenetwork.org and people can access the services and the training calendar to sign up for that webinar as well. So next, we're going to hear from Charles with our Codify team, who will share some information about Missouri Startup Weekend and how organizations across the state can participate. Charles.
Thanks, Crystal. I'm Charles, as opposed to what my name says on Zoom. For some reason, I couldn't sign into my Codify account before this, so I'll have to look into that afterwards. But I'm really excited to tell you all about the Missouri Startup Weekend because really it's a big signal about where Missouri's startup ecosystem is heading. And Codify has become the title sponsor of Missouri Startup Weekend, which is a 54-hour startup sprint that's happening April 17th through the 19th in Columbia at Equipment Share's headquarters. So it's interesting if you're not familiar with Equipment Share or Missouri Startup Weekend. Equipment Share is now one of Y Combinator's top 25 companies, and it's a multi-billion-dollar company. As well as there'll be the co-founder of Zapier at the event. He's actively involved in the event, and so it has a pretty rich track record of producing companies that go on to raise institutional funding and scale nationally. Our CEO, James Stapleton, will be attending that entire weekend as part of the Expert Investor Network. He'll be available to participate as a judge and resource. And another part of our title sponsorship is every registered participant will receive free access to Traction Studio AI, which is our AI-powered startup platform. And so everyone at Missouri Startup Weekend is recommending it as a core tool for preparation and for use over that weekend. So if you've never been to a startup weekend or you're not familiar with how those operate, essentially you would show up, pitch your idea Friday night, form a team, and then you'd have until Sunday to talk to customers, build an MVP, and then pitch to investors. So Redbud is a VC firm out of the Columbia area, and they're the people who are putting together Missouri Startup Weekend. And they chose to embed Traction Studio because it helps founders validate their idea, structure their pitch, and build with confidence really fast, which is exactly what you need in a compressed 54-hour window. So if you know a founder in our network, or if you're a founder, this would be an amazing event to go to. It'll be a lot of fun. We're going to start actively recruiting for founders to go to that very soon, so you can watch our posts coming for that. And I think, since we're here, it's worth noting that this kind of event is what the Show Me Network is all about. It's designed to enable events like this and help foster this founder led innovation throughout the state. So yeah, there's the QR code for the registration in the slide there. And if you have any questions about it, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll put my email in the chat.
All right. Thank you, Charles. It sounds like an amazing event. We're really looking forward to it and appreciate your team's hard work in helping to make sure that this happens and sharing it across our network. So
Absolutely.
before we wrap up, just a quick reminder that Show Me Network Week is coming up May 4th through 8th. If your organization is planning an event, you'll get a follow-up email where there will be a form that you can let us know about your event, and we want to make sure that we get it on the Show Me Network calendar so that people know what is happening across the state. And if your organization would like to collaborate with either our team at efactory or Codify, you can reach out to us. We'd love to have a conversation with you about ways that we can continue to do work in your community together. There's still time to have those conversations, so don't ever hesitate to reach out to me directly. I know Charles directly as well, or anybody else on our team that you have a contact with. That's great. But you will be seeing some additional information coming out about that. Don't forget to get your events on the website. Really, our goal of that week is to highlight programs and resources supporting founders and small businesses across the state. And we will have a kickoff event here at efactory on May 4th. So we're looking forward to that. And of course, more details to come as the date gets a little bit closer. But go ahead and mark your calendars for that. So I want to thank you for being part of today's conversation. Our next Show Me Connection webinar will take place on April 14th, and we hope to see you there. In the meantime, if there's anything that we can do for you, please don't hesitate to reach out, and have a great afternoon.